What's up, brothers? Hope everyone's doing well out there. I'm out here chilling. It's about 5 o'clock on November 20th in the backyard. And I figured I'll turn the camera on and I'll shoot the shit with you guys for a little while. And what I wanted to talk about in tonight's video is the exact moment when a lady realizes that you're that guy. When she discovers that she's head over heels for you, when she's crazy about you, when she has decided that she now belongs to you. See, this is kind of how it works, if you think about it. And you don't hear guys in the manosphere talk about this very often. They're all about display high value, hypergamy, and there's a time and a place for that, but that's not what this video is about. You know, if you want to be a useful utility to women, use the status and the money to get women. But this video is for the guys out there that do want a serious relationship. You know, they do want something that they can count on for years to come. Not just based on what you provide for the woman, but more based on what the two of you can build together, right? So, if you're one of those guys, this video is for you. Now, as I was saying, there's an exact moment when a woman realizes that you're that guy. And this moment will either happen or it won't happen, usually within the first month of knowing her. And when a woman decides that you're that guy, the best way that I can describe her behavior is that she has decided that she now belongs to you. And I mean that, she belongs to you. You know, when a man has decided that she's that woman, he feels responsible for her, right? He feels responsible to pay for her dinner, to make sure she's safe, to defend her from dangerous situations, to take care of her maybe financially. You know, a man feels like he's responsible for a woman when he realizes she's that woman. But when a woman realizes you're that man, she feels like she belongs to you. She's giving it all to you. Like everything within her belongs to you now. Okay? And there's one thing that they almost always say, almost every single one of them. And I've never heard anybody in the manosphere say this, but I'm going to try to put it in my words. But they usually say something like, "No one has ever made me feel this way." And that doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean no one has ever made them feel this way. I'm sure they've felt this way before. But what this means is they've gotten bit by the oxytocin bug, and you have them high. You have them mesmerized. You know, you're all they think about. When they buy clothes, they want to buy clothes that would match your clothes. You know, they might not be fans of sports, but you're a Cowboys fan. Now she's buying Dallas Cowboys jerseys. She talks about you all the time. She thinks about you all the time. She belongs to you. You're kind of her world at this point. Okay? And this doesn't take place when you're using pickup tactics. And I'm going to explain why. It's not going to take place when you're using display high value tactics. When you're, as some creators tell you, they say that a woman only wants a man that's quote unquote superior to her. Not true. This will never take place if a woman thinks you're too good for her. It will never happen. She has to feel like you guys are the perfect match. And the only way that you can make this happen is, again, this is going to go against a lot of the stuff you've heard, but you have to be brave enough and confident enough to be 100% transparent about who you are, what you want, what you expect. You can't be scared. You know, you can't be anxious. You can't be thinking about, am I saying this right? Am I doing it right? Did I screw this up? No, you have to be confident enough to be yourself. There's a specific bravery that men are born with, a specific trait of bravery that men are born with, that women aren't. It's exclusive to men. Earlier today, I was over at a guy I know's house. He's like 31 years old, I think, something like that. And he has a son that's maybe like 10 or 11 years old. I don't know exactly. I think 10 or 11. And every time I walk into their house or get out of the car and he's out in the yard or whatever, first thing he says to me is, "Hey, weak boy, I'm going to punch you in the face." Little 10-year-old, right? And he calls me weak boy. Well, number one, his dad's probably 5'8", 5'9", 170 pounds. I'm 6 foot 200. And I know that's not the biggest guy in the world, but it's above average. And to him, I'm a really big guy. I work out all the time, bench, squat, deadlift over 315 pounds. And, you know, I'm a bulky guy. I've got a decent build to me. But to this kid, he sees me as somebody that unlocks his bravery, right? We were all like this when we were kids, where you would want to fight your uncles, kind of like a lion, like the cubs wanting to fight the grown lions or bears or whatever, right? It's something that's within young men where they want to challenge. They just want a challenge, right? Anyways, you see this with this kid, and it's just funny, right? Like, he would willingly take me on, even though he's a frail little kid. And he just calls me weak boy because I'm the strongest guy that he sees on a regular basis, and I'm older than his dad, about 8 years older than his dad, 7 years older than his dad. So he sees me as older and bigger and stronger. So he calls me weak boy. That's completely beside the point, but that's the instinct of a man. Even though he's 11 years old, he has the instinct of a grown man, of a man that's willing to take on challenges, that is fully confident with who he is and what he has, and he's ready to go out there with a warrior spirit and take on the world. Regardless of what that kid looks like, regardless of how much money he makes when he becomes an adult, I would bet my last dollar that that kid is going to absolutely be that guy with women. 1,000%. Because there's not a scared bone in his body. And he's perfectly confident with what he has, even though he has no chance. And I'm not saying that you should be delusional, but I'm saying that's the specific trait, that's the exact mindset that you have to have if you want to be comfortable being yourself and accepting all the results and admitting whatever it is you want, admitting that and going after it. Don't be secretive. Don't be scared to show intent. Don't be scared to text back too soon. Don't be scared to give a woman a compliment because you think she's going to think you're a simp. No, you are who you are. You have to be yourself and be 100% transparent. And for me personally, anytime I've experienced this, and I think back, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, the reason why this subject is something that I'm fairly fond of is because I'm a guy that likes being a free bird. I just enjoy being single. I enjoy being a free bird. Now, I have spent most of my adult life in relationships because every now and then a lady comes along that, for whatever reason, I just say, you know what, okay, this one I think is worth it. I'm just, whatever. She keeps me, she gets me going and keeps me going for an extended period of time. I'll just put it like that. But here's how it started off every single time. Okay? Usually it's just, we cross paths and, we notice each other. And I'm like, okay, she's kind of cute. Maybe she smiles. Okay, she's cute and she's friendly. Either she's friendly or she likes me, one of the two. Either way, this is a good opportunity for me to go talk to her, right? So I talk to her, and I don't use any pickup, any seduction techniques or anything like that. I was watching a pickup artist earlier today, and he was explaining, I can't believe people still buy into this shit, but he's like, well, you walk into a bar and, if you approach a girl and she says, what brought you here tonight? Then you should respond with something funny like, a taxi cab. And this is like a world-renowned pickup artist, and no disrespect to him. I'm not going to mention his name, no disrespect, but that's what a 40-year-old man is teaching these young guys, to come up with something that you think is witty, that you think might make her like you more. And he described it as displaying high value, right? Like, you're being cocky and funny, and that's displaying high value. I'm going to call bullshit. See, here's what I do. I talk to them and have a normal freaking conversation. Like, I'm introducing myself. We're just talking. I'm just being myself. I'm not telling any lies. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be cool. I'm not trying to make her think. I'm not trying to show pre-selection. I'm not trying to make her think like I'm, the hottest guy in the world and everybody wants me and I'm the richest guy. I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm just talking to her and being totally transparent. And then as time goes on, if we continue talking, usually within a week or two, and I say this, the reason why I'm fond on this subject is because, as I was saying, I like being a free bird. And a lot of times for me, even though I might like the girl, even though she might be really, really gorgeous, really a cool person, a lot of times they start to fall and I realize, whoa, I want to be a free bird. I can't, I'm not doing this. And they have already determined that they belong to me at that point. So it wrecks their fucking mind when you do that. And that's the only reason why I'm fond of it. But anyways, I'm just open, I'm transparent. I ask them serious questions, basic questions. All right, are you from here? Or, are your parents, are they still around? What's good? Just like normal questions, right? And they ask questions back. And before you know it, we're FaceTiming each other, we're talking, we're texting. And I can see it on her. She's fully given herself to me. She fully belongs to me at this point. Now here's the thing. Okay, I know this might sound like I'm just like sharing my experience, but there's also advice here. Number one, follow that. Be confident enough to be yourself, believe in yourself. But number two, don't be delusional. Okay, if 3 weeks goes by, 4 weeks goes by, and you can't see it on her, you're not 100% sure that she's head over heels for you, that, she's given herself to you, you gotta walk away. And here's what'll happen. And look, I had to learn this the hard way because I've stuck around. I've stuck around for 3 or 4 months when I should have left after 3 or 4 weeks and looked like a fool. Always being the one to text first, always reaching out, making up excuses in my head like maybe she's a fearful avoidant or some shit like that. And then, whatever, right? I've done that. We've all done that, right? But we all got to learn. We learn the hard way. And, if after 3 or 4 weeks she doesn't do that, you have to leave because you're going to look like a fool if you don't. Now, typically, women aren't going to change their mind. You can't chip away. You can't be like, well, the first night was okay, and the second date was pretty cool, and the third date was kind of fun, but I'm not really sure if she likes me. You can't chip away. Okay, that's what guys want to do. And most guys that reach out for dating advice, they're in a stage where they're chipping away. You can't chip away. Okay, you're on week 8, still trying to chip away, when she decided on week 3 that she is never going to take you seriously. She might go out with you. She might even have sex with you. If that's all you're looking for, cool, whatever. But you will know for a fact if she's determined that you're that guy that she wants to give herself to. And if it hadn't happened, it ain't going to happen. Okay, you ain't going to chip away. So that's the best piece of advice. And there's nothing worse than being a man who's taken on the role where you feel like you're now responsible for this woman. That when a man loves a woman, right, he feels like he's responsible for her. But she doesn't have the same feeling for you, so she hasn't given herself to you. You're responsible for something that doesn't belong to you. Do you understand how stupid that is? When you're responsible for something that doesn't belong to you, or when you think you are, you're basically overstepping a boundary. You're being a creep. You're like obsessive at this point. That's like a stalker almost. But really, you're not a stalker. You're a good dude that just doesn't realize this. You haven't been hit enough times to realize it's taken place. But when you have been, you'll know. And it can be devastating, heartbreaking, humiliating, you name it. But I will tell you one thing for sure. The typical experience that you're going to go through when you do meet a woman that is fully into you, fully invested in you, that wants to give herself to you, the process that's going to take place is going to be, you're going to meet, you're going to start talking, and you're going to be thinking in your head, what should I do here? Should I say cool things? Should I present myself as like high value, pre-selection, hypergamy? Should I utilize all of this stuff that I hear in the manosphere, that I hear from pickup artists? Should I do all of this? A lot of guys are going to make that choice, and they're going to do that. 3 or 4 weeks into the relationship, she's going to say, you're not that guy, because it was fake. But when you're a transparent guy, it'll be different. And what'll happen is 3 or 4 weeks in, she may or may not decide you're that guy, but if she does decide you're that guy, all the anxiety that you have, you question yourself. Does she really like me? She loves me not. What's going on here? I'm a little confused. You're anxious, whatever. But then something happens, and you can just see in her eyes that she is fully intoxicated by the drug of you. And she belongs to you at this point. All of her friends know it. Her family knows it. She knows it. You bump into her at the gym, and all the other guys know they no longer have a chance because you're all she can think about. Now, that's the only way that a relationship can be done. When you're responsible for a woman and she belongs to you. Anything less would be uncivilized. That's the role of a man and a woman in a relationship. Now, I guess it's getting dark, so I'm probably going to have to shut this one off, but I do want to shout out one of my best bud channel sponsors, Into the AM. I'll post a link in the comment section. Also, a link is in the description if you click the Into the AM link and use coupon code LFA for 10% off to to get an extra discount. But they provided me with this jacket. It's a pretty sick jacket. I don't know. I guess you guys can't really see it. I would like to stand up, but the camera angle's not going to be really good. But you can see what it looks like here. It hangs down a little bit below the belt. Nice tailor, slim fit. Fits me perfectly. The t-shirts, as always. You got to admit, these t-shirts are hella aesthetic. You know, they really fit the chest and the shoulders perfectly. Really a good looking t-shirt. This is my normal attire for a video here, but I wear their t-shirts all the time. You know, they're a brand that I can throw their shirts in my gym bag. I can hit the gym, work out, throw them on, go grab lunch, go on a little lunch date where I don't have to dress up. I can be casual. I can come home, make a YouTube video, go out, grab a beer. I can do it all in these shirts. So they're perfect for me. If you're like a simple dude, t-shirts, jackets, flannels, whatnot, click the link and check them out. I guarantee you'll like the merchandise that you see. It'll fit you well, and they'll probably be your new t-shirt brand, because they have been mine for like the last 3 or 4 years. But they're also having a Black Friday sale, so I've got to shout that out as well. Alright guys, remember the key takeaway. The dynamics that take place in a relationship are when you've decided that she's that woman, you begin to feel responsible for her. And when a woman has decided that you are that man, she decides to give herself to you, that she belongs to you. And it doesn't take long for this to be understood. And for some people out there that will say, well, watch out because she might be a narcissist and she might be love bombing you. Well, you got to understand, narcissism is on a spectrum. And maybe we'll talk about this in the next video. But in the middle you have 0. On one end you have a 10, and on the opposite you have a 10. One of these 10s is empathy. The other 10 is narcissism. And every human being falls somewhere in this spectrum. If you're a perfect 10 on empathy, that means you consider other people's wants and needs over your own all the time, which makes you a doormat. If you're a 10 out of 10 on the narcissism spectrum, narcissist side, that means you only care about your own wants and needs, and you never care about other people's wants and needs. So, what type of woman do you think you're going to attract with pickup artist tactics, displaying high value, pre-selection, high value man game? Obviously, you're going to attract the woman who only cares about herself. When you're genuine and you're authentic, you're probably going to attract a woman that's a 0. That's what you want, right? Being a 0 means you care about other people, you care about yourself equally. You're not going to be a doormat. You're going to have boundaries. You're not going to put up with bullshit. But at the same time, you can be generous, you can be kind, you can be loving and caring and all that, right? You want to be right in the middle. But a lot of the crazy ones are on the empath side. I'm going to be honest with you, the empath or the narcissist side. You got a lot of crazies. They're off balanced. You got to be balanced. So, part of it is while you're getting to know a woman, while you're being transparent, she's going to follow your lead and also be transparent. And you got to read your keys. Understand what you're dealing with. Pay attention. Is this a girl that you really want to be with? But hey, that's a good problem to have. At least you're in charge. At least you know what you're doing and you're moving and behaving like a proper man is supposed to. Alright guys, I'm not going to yap anymore. I'll go ahead and shut this one off. But I hope this video was somewhat informative. And that's about it for tonight, guys. Until next time, see ya.